You're not invited to the family trip, Madison. It's just better that way. I stood in the kitchen, coffee still steaming in my hand, when my mother-in-law, Cheryl, dropped that line like it was nothing. My husband, Tyler, just sat there, silent. Not a glance in my direction. Not a word. I blinked once. Twice. My throat tightened, but I didn't say anything. I just nodded and quietly turned to place my cup in the sink. Better that way. After all I'd done for that family, after every birthday I planned, every dinner I cooked, every time I helped Cheryl to the car when her knees gave out, this is how I was treated? I didn't cry. Not then. I just swallowed the lump in my throat and kept moving like I hadn't just been erased from a tradition I'd helped build. That trip meant everything to me. It was the only time the whole family came together. The laughter, the bonfires, the silly matching shirts. And now I was banned, cast out like I didn't belong. But I said nothing. I just smiled and started planning. I met Tyler when I was 22. We were both broke, fresh out of college, chasing dreams that hadn't quite formed yet. I believed in him before he had a job, before the house, before anyone else did. I supported us through those early years, working double shifts as a nurse while he figured things out. His family didn't like me from the start. Not because I was rude or careless, but because I didn't fit their mold. I wasn't country club material. I didn't come from the right side of town. Cheryl, his mother, would smile tight-lipped and call me ambitious like it was an insult. Still, I tried. God, did I try. I remembered Cheryl's birthday every year with hand-picked gifts and flowers delivered to her office. I helped her set up Thanksgiving even when I worked the overnight ER shift. I cheered for Tyler's sister, Paige, when she got promoted, even though Paige never once remembered my name at Christmas. I was the outsider. Always. Family trips were my only chance to feel like I was becoming one of them. I'd plan excursions, book restaurants, even custom-made a scrapbook for Cheryl after the Bahamas trip last year. She cried happy tears and yet still managed to exclude me 8 months later like I was just a hotel maid who had overstayed her welcome. I watched Paige get praised for making a salad, while I was left cleaning up dinner with no thanks. I'd stay quiet when Cheryl made snide comments about my busybody career. I let it slide when Tyler told me, "She doesn't mean it like that." But it chipped away at me. Bit by bit. I did everything right, and it still wasn't enough. I wasn't enough. Until I realized maybe the problem wasn't me. Maybe it was the system they built, one that only saw value in people who played small and stayed quiet. And I was done doing both. A week after Cheryl told me I wasn't invited, I got a text from Tyler's cousin, Jenna. "Hey Mads, just double-checking. Are you sure you're not coming to Maui? Your name's not on the guest list." I stared at the screen, heart sinking again. It wasn't a misunderstanding. Cheryl meant it, and everyone else knew. They were organizing flights, sharing packing tips, booking matching swimsuits without me. I showed Tyler the message. He shrugged. She didn't mean anything by it. She just thinks it might be less tense this year. Less tense? So, I was the tension. The problem. The reason the family would feel better if I simply wasn't there. "I'm your wife," I said quietly. "I know," he replied, eyes fixed on his phone. "Let's just not make a big deal out of this." A big deal? I was being erased from my own family's vacation, a trip I'd helped build into a tradition, and he wanted me to be quiet? That night, I lay in bed beside him, listening to the sound of his breathing while my own chest felt like it was caving in. I didn't cry. I didn't speak. But something inside me snapped. Not in rage. Not in desperation. But in quiet resolve. If I wasn't welcome in their paradise, maybe I needed to build my own. The next morning, I canceled the standing $500 monthly deposit I'd been quietly sending to Tyler's parents for emergencies. I'd never told anyone about it, not even him. Cheryl once hinted they were struggling with a mortgage after retirement, and like a fool, I offered help. Every month. For 3 years. I also deleted the family group chat from my phone. No explanation. No drama. When Cheryl posted, "Island Countdown. Palm trees sparkling heart #MauiBound" on Facebook, I didn't click. Didn't zoom in on the photo. Didn't check who commented. I just blocked the entire thread. For the first time in years, I didn't send out reminders for everyone's birthdays. Didn't order custom beach towels. Didn't chase validation. I simply stopped. I still went to work, still laughed with my friends, still made coffee in the morning, but something inside had cleared. Like fog lifting off a road I didn't realize I was stuck on. I didn't answer when Paige texted. Did I do something wrong? I didn't pick up when Tyler's uncle called just to talk. And when Tyler asked, "Why are you being distant lately?" I smiled and said, "I'm just focusing on myself." And I meant it. For the first time, my silence wasn't fear, it was freedom. It was a quiet Sunday when I got a message request on Instagram. "Hi Madison, I know this might be random, but I had to say thank you." It was from someone named Ava Colton, a name I didn't recognize. I hesitated, then opened the message. "You probably don't remember me. 2 years ago, you donated anonymously to my GoFundMe when my mom needed emergency heart surgery. I just found out it was you. I don't even know how to thank you. You saved her life." I blinked, stunned. I had donated, quietly, without attaching my name. I only knew Ava through an old friend's repost. Her mom was uninsured. The hospital had refused surgery without a down payment. I sent $10,000 that night. No one in Tyler's family ever knew. But now this girl did. And she was writing to me not because she wanted anything but because she saw me. I replied, "I'm so glad your mom made it. You don't owe me anything." Minutes later, my phone buzzed again. This time it was Jenna, Tyler's cousin. She had seen Ava's thank you post, which was now getting traction. People were sharing it, praising the anonymous donor. Ava had tagged me. Jenna messaged, "Wait, that was you? I had no idea. They always made it sound like you were just cold." And then she added something that hit me right in the chest. "You're not who they said you were. You're more." The illusion cracked. The mask Cheryl and the others had painted over me, selfish, sensitive, dramatic, was starting to peel. And I didn't even have to lift a finger. By midweek, Cheryl called. I didn't answer. Then came a text from Paige. "Hey, can we talk? Mom's feeling bad about everything. We all are." I stared at the screen. The same Paige who said nothing when I was disinvited now wanted to talk because people were realizing who I really was. A day later, Tyler forwarded me a message from his mother. "Maybe we overreacted with the trip. It's not too late to make things right. Let's reset." Reset? Not, "I'm sorry." Not, "We were wrong." Just a reset. Then came the kicker, an email from Cheryl herself. "Also, if you could ask that Ava girl to delete the post, we'd appreciate it. It's becoming a bit of a circus." There it was. Not concern for Ava. Not gratitude. Just image control. They weren't sorry they hurt me. They were sorry they got caught. Tyler looked sheepish when I showed him the message. "I think she's just overwhelmed," he said. I raised an eyebrow. Overwhelmed by what? Kindness getting public attention? He didn't reply. I didn't respond to Cheryl. I didn't respond to Paige. I didn't ask Ava to delete anything. I let the post stay. Let the shares grow. Let the truth be loud for once. And still, I stayed silent. Not to punish. Not to win. But because their noise no longer reached me. The night before my birthday, I received a package. No return address, just my name in gold ink. Inside was a hardcover photo book. On the cover, The Island of Gratitude. I opened it slowly. Page after page of photos. Smiling faces. Families hugging. Handwritten notes. Messages of thanks. Dozens of people, some I'd never met, holding signs. "Thank you, Madison." Ava had organized it. Every person in that book had been helped by me in some quiet, hidden way over the years. The barista, whose rent I paid once. The neighbor whose child I tutored for free. The artist I commissioned even when I didn't need the painting. The refugee mom I met at a shelter and sent grocery money to for 6 months. People I had long forgotten, but who hadn't forgotten me. On the last page, a note in Ava's handwriting. "You gave when no one was watching. You changed lives without needing credit. We see you now." You matter, not for what you gave, but because of who you are. I press my hand to the page, tears finally falling. Not the kind of tears I had cried in Cheryl's kitchen. These were different. Healing tears. Recognition tears. I wasn't dramatic, or selfish, or oversensitive. I was generous,
Brave.
human,
And now?
I was free. Later that week, I sent a message to the real estate agent. Let's go ahead and finalize the island. She replied within an hour. It's yours. Congrats, island owner. I smiled. I didn't buy the island to show off. I bought it because for once, I wanted a space that couldn't be taken from me. A place where I was allowed. A place that reflected who I had always been. Giving, wild, healing mine. 2 weeks later, they showed up. Unannounced. Cheryl, Paige, and even Tyler, standing on the porch of my townhouse like nothing had happened. Tyler looked embarrassed. Cheryl had that tight smile she wore when cameras were around. Paige held a gift bag. I opened the door, but didn't step outside. Cheryl spoke first. We've been thinking, Madison, maybe a family trip after all. A real one. Just us. Paige chimed in, smiling nervously. We could all use a fresh start, right? I looked at them. Not with anger, not even sadness. Just clarity. The kind that comes when you finally stop begging to be seen. I stepped outside, closed the door behind me, and stood there quietly. They waited. Then I spoke, calm, quiet, firm.
No.
Just that. No speech. No explanation. No debate. Cheryl blinked. Excuse me? I smiled. I said no. I'm not coming. And you're not invited. I turned the knob behind me and walked back inside, letting the door click shut. No shouting. No dramatics. Just peace. Because healing doesn't always look like revenge. Sometimes, it looks like walking away with your head high and your heart intact. Looking back, I realized something powerful. You don't have to stay where you're not wanted to prove your worth. You don't need permission to take up space in this world. Sometimes the loudest no is the one that sets you free. If you've ever been pushed away, ignored, or underestimated, remember this. You're not too much. You're just too real for those who pretend. Sometimes, walking away isn't giving up, it's choosing peace. It's reclaiming your power without saying a word. And if you're watching this, feeling unseen or rejected right now, know that your story isn't over. Your healing is just beginning. Because the family that truly matters is the one that sees you for who you are, not what you do. And that kind of love, it's worth more than any island.